On today's episode, we're going to talk about the value of SEO, and you may be surprised by what I say, so I recommend continuing to listen to this episode. Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Today's episode is sponsored by Jane, a clinic management software and EMR that helps you handle your clinic's admin tasks so that you can free up your evenings and weekends. The Jane team understands how precious your time is and recognizes that charting can often be the most time-consuming, absolutely, admin task for practitioners. 1000%. That's why they're here to help. To start your chart notes from scratch, you can check out Jane's template library, which is amazing. It gives you access to templates that have been generously created and shared by health and wellness practitioners in the community. Once you have a template that you like, you can choose to customize it further with charting tools such as range scales, text fields, checkboxes, and more. To see how Jane can help you spend more time doing what you love, just make sure you click the link in my bio to book a personalized demo. I say bio and you know I mean show notes. Or if you're ready to get started, you can use my code LEX1MO at the time of sign up for a 1-month grace period applied to your new Jane account. Again, I'm going to put the link in the show notes, as well as you can use my code LEX1MO at checkout to get a 1-month grace period for your new Jane account. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Up in My Business. This week is going to be a short one for a very different reason than it was last week, because last week it was short. It was a holiday that this episode came out. Today, it's Sunday, and for the last week, it's been really hot here. It doesn't really get to be too hot, and I recognize there are people in a lot of different parts of the world that may listen to this podcast episode and think, Lex, you're crazy. It's not even that hot. Get over it. But what I want to say is that it's hot. It's like 85, 82, 85 here, and it's just hot. I know there are people that live in downtown LA that have been talking about like internet outages and power outages, and I don't know. We don't have any of that stuff, knock on wood, but it's been hot. So the reason I say it's going to be a short episode is because when I record, I'm in my office, and I'm in my office and I have no fan on because you would be able to hear it and it's annoying in the recording. So I'm in here, it gets hot in here, and I have about 10 minutes before I probably start melting. So I want to talk about SEO and essentially the value of SEO. And I know that there are many things that I've talked about before about like, this is why it's important, but I haven't gone through this exact reasoning on the podcast. I did talk about it in my Instagram post. I think it was yesterday, but going to go through that. Other than that, business updates. SEO school will be opening for enrollment on September 23rd to September 27th for the waitlist, and then on September 30th for the public. If you're listening to this, I would recommend getting on the wait list if you have any interest, because you're saving. I usually let the wait list in on, discounts and all the things in the wait list emails, but I will tell you now, the wait list will be saving $150 on registration. So it's the biggest discount that I've given the wait list. So it's going to be, obviously a huge discount. I wouldn't wait until public enrollment to get in there and do that. I also will tell you, as of right now, my plan is to only offer this once a year. The reason why is because if I offer it twice, it's a 6-month program. So I'm technically never not offering it, meaning I'm never not teaching on the first Wednesday of every month for SEO school. And it's not that I don't love it, but I think that I will get the same amount of people in this one cohort, and that will give me a rest essentially between that cohort and the next cohort, especially with Lextramind and all the things. So that is opening for enrollment to the waitlist only on the 23rd. And then Lextramind will also open to Our wait list, it's usually a pocket launch. So if you're not on the wait list, you won't know about it. It happened last year. People were like, oh, you guys are offering it. We had no idea you were even offering it. Yes. So if you're not on the wait list, you likely won't hear about it. So for LectureMind, we're probably going to be opening up enrollment, if I had to guess, the 3rd week of October, maybe the 4th week, probably the 4th week of October. But either way, it's going to be a pocket launch. So you're not going to see it on socials. You're probably not going to see it anywhere except for on the email list as far as the wait list goes. So if you're interested, get on the wait list. And I'll put the link to the info page as well. But it is the program that Shantae and I run for brick and mortar business owners who want to get started online and launch their first online offer. This past cohort that we had absolutely crushed it. They will be huge shoes to fill, or they have created huge shoes to fill for the next cohort. But we're so excited to welcome 8 more people into LectureMind. So if you're interested, make sure you get on the wait list because like we said, it is only 8 people. It's application based. We received many more than 8 applications last year. So we're intending for that to happen again. But we'll see. We're really excited about it. And also, I will say when you listen to this, you cannot enroll for the Instagram intensive, Shantae's Instagram intensive, but next Monday you can. So on Monday the 16th, Monday the 16th, you'll be able to enroll in Shantae's Instagram intensive if you want Instagram coaching. I highly recommend you get in that program if you haven't taken it already and you're curious about having an online presence in Instagram for your business and having an online business because it's incredible. The way that she teaches is obviously the way that I have learned, and how she runs her business is exactly how she teaches inside the Instagram intensive. So if you're looking to learn Instagram, she is the one to learn from. And let's jump into personal updates, personal stuff. Really nothing big except for this freaking heat is wild. I'm already sitting here and I'm starting to sweat. It's just hot here and we don't have air conditioning. Obviously, no one in California, I don't think, has air conditioning unless you have like a portable one, which is fine. But we never need it. It's 1 week out of the year, aka this week, that's hot. And yeah, it's just, it's very hot. I'm also gearing up for the next 3 months really being insane. Like I'm looking at my calendar now. It's always next to me, my big yearly calendar, and September, October, November, December are just, Q4 is just wild as far as, seeing people, events, vacations, holidays. It's just a lot. So excited for all of that stuff to come, and also excited because business and life, like word of the year was elevate. And I have done so many things in, honoring that word of the year this year. And I have a few things that I've taken notes on for what I'm thinking for next year, but Q4 is usually, it's usually a blink of an eye. Like I'm actually quite sad thinking about it just because I know how fast it goes when you're so busy. So just trying to enjoy every moment and making sure I'm taking the time to pause and enjoy the things that, are going on in life just because I know how fast it goes. And September, October are the best months here in California, which is amazing. So my parents are visiting, and then we also have all of the normal stuff, volleyball, what have you. But Shantae and I have both taken, it'll officially be 2 weeks off of class. So unfortunately, Shantae had a knee thing, and I've just had some weird health stuff too. So, and also I don't want to get up at 6:30 in the morning to go to class. So I just haven't gone, but, yeah, hopefully we'll get back this week. Hopefully her knee's feeling better, and hoping that I can hold off as well. And also haven't lifted in probably 2 weeks just because of all of that stuff. And we were busy. Like Shantae's brother visited, and it was a great week. And when people are visiting, it's hard to get all of things done on top of work. So yeah, really just focusing on getting back into the routine and lifting and volleyball and just obviously when nothing is really changing, everything's staying the same, which we all love. So that's really all I've got for you as far as updates go. And we're going to jump right into the episode because I am starting to get very warm. It is hot in here. I sound like such a complainer, but I also just don't like to sit in my own sweat and no, absolutely not. Like I'm thinking about turning the fan on, but anyway. So when we talk about SEO, and the reason I'm doing this episode is because I think it's very difficult for people to understand what the value of SEO is. And even people in SEO school, I go over this so many times on our Q&A call that I know that it's a valuable thing to talk about. So when it comes to SEO, there are different ways in which we can get in front of people. And even if like just general marketing, there are different ways that we get in front of people. So most people are familiar with what we call a workshop, like a physical therapy based workshop where we go to a local studio, we teach a lesson or what have you to their members, and then their members are exposed to us. Some people may just go and get whatever we're offering there. Some people will book within a week. Some people book at the event. Some people, they won't book for months or years, right? So people are typically familiar with that cycle. Now, when it comes to SEO, I always like to refer, it's basically the same type of concept, but what is difficult for people to not necessarily assume is that the goal of SEO is to appeal to customers in different stages of their customer journey. So I'll use two different examples for this, but obviously the customer journey can be anywhere from 0 days, right? They meet you the first time they meet you to 5 years from now, 6 years from now, 7 years from now. People may not buy from you. They may not invest in your services today, tomorrow, next month, but 3 years from now, they may invest. So when we talk about the customer journey, it's just basically when they get exposed to you to when they book or buy. When we're talking about SEO, ideally, we are appealing to customers in different stages of their journey. All right. And when we're focusing on doing that, we're able to reach more people. If we don't focus on SEO and we just essentially do what most people do, they just kind of throw a website up there and they hope for the best. If you're a brick and mortar business, you may get in front of people because they Google whatever service you offer and they are local to you. So they're located physically close to you. That's fine. I will also say that a lot of people don't even get that. Like they don't know how to make that happen. And it's harder than it seems, but they don't know how to make that happen either. But if you just have a local business and you have services, typically at some point in time, it could take 0 days or years and years and years. You may come up on a Google search for a service in your specific location. Now, can you shortcut that cycle or can you make that happen faster with SEO work? Yes, you can. But just for example purposes, when we're talking about if you don't focus on SEO, what happens? You're just kind of hoping and praying you come up for something, right? But when you have strategy and when you know how to get in front of people, if you are able to get in front of people in different stages of a customer journey, one, you essentially guarantee yourself the ability to get new patients now and for, time. So 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. And you also are able to gain a lot of trust. So for instance, what we usually see is exactly what I just said. So when someone starts to work on their SEO, oftentimes they will see that they come up for what we call a service before they come up for a diagnosis. So for instance, physical therapy in X, Y, and Z town and state. Typically that will happen before they come up for knee pain treatment. And that's normal, right? But what I'm saying here is that the only way to come up for both of those things is if we create content around them. And how to do that, what keywords to use, how to write the content, what does that look like? That's all things that we talk about in SEO school. And that's way too much for a podcast episode. It's way too much for a coaching call. It's just a lot. But the goal is to come up for people in those different stages, because the person who is Googling knee pain when running may not even know that physical therapy is an option. Whereas the person who's Googling physical therapy near me, they already know that they need physical therapy. So ideally, we come up for people who already know they need us and the people who don't necessarily know that we can help them. I always talk about, pelvic health as a great example because it's one of those things where some people may not know about it. While it is mainstream now at this point, I will say that if someone says pain in pelvic region and they Google that, it would be very nice to come up for treatment around that, right? And maybe just show them, okay, physical therapy exists. So what I'm saying here is that when you start to learn how to dive into SEO and focus on your SEO and learn how to create content that gets found on Google and content that Google likes and that your patients will click on, your potential patients will click on and they see as valuable, we're able to appeal and get in front of more people and essentially find customers or consumers of our specific service at all stages in their journey, whether they're just researching the symptoms that they have or they're ready to buy. And that's a huge value of SEO because typically people will never get in front of the people who are just researching because they're not doing the content creation. They're not talking about it. They're not using the keywords that they need. Google might not be finding their site. The blogs that they're creating may not be getting indexed or, found on Google. So when we start to learn how to use SEO to our advantage, this free marketing tool, we're able to increase our reach to more people because we're not only coming up for our services, but we also start to come up for diagnoses and any sort of question, if you will, that someone's asking into Google that they might not even know that physical therapy can help with, right? Or your specific service can help with. So to wrap it up here, ideally, when we learn SEO, we learn how to do SEO, quote unquote, we focus on SEO, we then can start to come up for more than one population, more than just the people who know that they need us, but also the people who don't know that we exist. They might not know that physical therapy can help, and they're simply just researching their symptoms to see if there's a solution. So obviously, we want to show that we have the solution and that we can help them. If you have questions about any of the things that I talked about today, know that all of this is addressed in SEO school. It's addressed in the coaching calls over and over and over again. And I would be happy to answer any questions you have about SEO school. But the long and the short is I truly believe that when you learn how to utilize these concepts, you learn how to dive into SEO and what people are actually searching for and create content for them, you are able to share your business, your voice, your brand online. And it's in the most effective way possible, in my opinion. And it's for free, right? So there aren't many marketing things that we can do that's completely free, like social media. So why not take advantage of SEO? All right, friends, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you have a lovely week. I will catch you next time.